Hello, I am Georgina, and today I'm going to share some of the things that I found a bit challenging whilst being here in Honduras on my gap year. So, as much as you think that being homesick might be a bit of a significant thing, for me, it kind of came in a way that I didn't expect. So, I sort of knew that I'm quite an adaptable person in general. Usually, I can just adapt to situations fine, and I don't know, I'm pretty good at coping with things. But here, I don't know, I didn't think I would be actually homesick, which I suppose it's not like I miss home that much. It's not really that type of homesick. Of course I miss it. And of course I miss my friends and family, but I can still keep in contact with them. So that sort of wasn't the type of homesick that actually was a big deal for me. So for me, it was more like not knowing the people that were here. So at first it was fine because I could just I don't know, I was fine. Like I could just, meet new people, learn more about them, I don't know, just socialize more. And I did really enjoy that. But then it got to a point in about 6 months in, about December, January, where I started realizing that I don't know, I just felt so much if I'm acting a certain way or doing a certain thing, then people aren't actually going to understand because they don't really know me that well. So, for example, sometimes if I'm quiet, it doesn't mean that I'm in a mood. I don't really do that. I'm not really I'm going to go in that huff with you type of person. I don't do that. It's like if I'm just a bit quiet, sometimes I'm just a bit tired. Maybe I've got a lot on my mind, but I'm not annoyed at anyone, if that makes sense. If I'm annoyed at someone, I'm just going to tell them. It's not, I don't know, I'm just gonna say, right, what you're doing, I just don't like. It's just sort of that personality thing. I don't know, it just, that type of thing. It was fine when it happened a couple times with a few different people, but I started realizing actually no one really knows me that well here. And it's sort of, I don't know, it just made me miss the people that I am closer with, and it made me miss my friends and family for sure back home. And also thinking about the permanency problem here. Well, not a problem, but I don't know, back home, I never really thought about how I was just living there for a long time. It never even crossed my mind. But here, I don't know, there's just a few things that happen that I'm like, well, I don't know, is it worth it? Because I'm just here for a few more months. Or I'm like, well, I'm here for quite a few more months, so I have to do something, and it's just like that timing. Sometimes it feels like I was gonna be here for for like a really long time. And sometimes it felt like, I don't know, I just didn't have that much time left. So it sort of depends, on what it is. So like, for example, I don't sleep on my mattress. It's like really soft. Like I feel like a banana. I feel like my back is I don't know, like really hunched over or whatever. I just get sore back. I suppose I do have back problems. I did break my back once. That's a story for another time. So having a really soft mattress does hurt my back. So I don't know, I just take off the mattress and just sleep on the bed frame, which I'm like, well, it's just for a few more months, it's fine. I can just sleep on the bed frame, even though sometimes when I turn over, I feel like a bit of wood just there. But I'd rather sleep on something solid like wood than something really soft. Um, so yeah, and it's just things like that. I'm like, well, okay, it's only a few months, I can deal with that. But then when it comes to things like power cuts, I'm like, well, I'm here for quite a bit more time, so I'm gonna bring a head torch, I'm gonna, do this. And it's like sometimes it's funny the way that you think about time because it's the same amount of time. It just depends on if you view it as long term or short term. And just being stuck in the middle, that sort of to me felt a bit odd because especially when it came to people. So I'm like, well, there's no point being friends with every single person that I work with because I'm only here for a few months. I don't know, I'm not saying I don't want to speak to people. I absolutely am gonna go every morning, I'm gonna say hi to every single person I see. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's more do I have time to spend I don't know, loads and loads of time with so many different people? I'm like, well, I don't know, it's gonna feel like I'm just abandoning everyone at the end of the year, And it just, I don't know, it's sort of hard for me to sort of think about because especially when a lot of the people I work with don't speak English or I want to speak to them in Spanish, then I don't know, there just becomes sort of a thing of well, you know, I don't want to just leave these people at the end of the year. I don't want to be really good friends with these people and then just leave, you know? And it's just, I don't know, sometimes it can be a bit hard to just deal with certain situations with the permanency. So I am looking forward to being back when I'm just, you know, in the same place for a long time, you know. For the foreseeable future, I'm going to be in Edinburgh because I have uni to go to. So, you know, I'm just going to be there for a while. And I don't know, I think I will definitely thrive a lot more in that more stability because, I don't know, sometimes being in a new country, new language, new people, like, and knowing that it's temporary, that can be a really good thing, but it can also feel like everything is just so unstable, you know? And there's sometimes I'm like, well, oh, I just want to go home. Sometimes I have very much felt like that. I don't know anyone who hasn't, to be honest. And in those times I'm like, okay, just a few more months, just a few more weeks, you know, there's not long left, and then like I'll do it. But then if it was permanent, I probably would have left by now. You know, I don't know. It's just funny, like thinking about time that way. I don't know. It's just funny to think about. So those have been a bit challenging. Another thing is also when I'm at school teaching the children, sometimes, especially in first grade, they don't really understand a lot of English. Now, the school that I'm in, I'm only allowed to speak to them in English. Like, that's just the rule. And I get that for sure. I completely agree that immersion is the best way to learn a language. And yeah, so like sometimes they come up to me and they go, yep, in Spanish, and I'm like, okay, I can understand decent amount of what they're saying. Usually I can, in general, I'd say 80% I can understand what they're saying. But the problem is they don't understand what I am saying. And sometimes it can be quite difficult to communicate with them because I'm definitely at the advantage I have the advantage over them because they only understand Spanish. They only understand very little English in first grade. So, you know, like I'm trying to communicate and I don't know, they just don't get it, and I do feel kind of bad, and I'm like, well, sometimes they just look at me and just like, and I'm like, do you understand? No. I'm like, okay, don't say yes then, you know, it's funny. But yeah, it has been a bit tricky getting them to, you know, properly learn English, especially with the, you know, with the good pronunciation and things. I think that will come over time though. Like, you know, I used to teach history, and the secondary students, they definitely had a really good level of English. So, you know, it's like, I'm sure over time it will get better. But that has been a bit of a challenge as well. And the last challenge I've had has been definitely to do with keeping my insulin cold and just diabetic stuff, to be honest, because like, I don't know, I'm just not used to having power cuts or anything like that. I definitely have gotten used to them being here for sure, but it's things like just keeping on remembering to change my fans and stuff all the time. Because obviously if the power goes out and the insulin's in the fridge, it's not really gonna, you know, it's gonna do nothing. So you have to make sure that it stays nice and cold with my fans. And yeah, it's just things like that. Has made it a bit challenging, like in restaurants and stuff, they don't have any carb information or anything like that. So I just have to guess, which I have gotten pretty good at getting used to, but you know, it's just a bit challenging sometimes. But overall, I've definitely learned to adapt, learned to cope. And yeah, I think that's all of the challenges that I'm going to talk about today. And if you've enjoyed, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye!